Hello, YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Stellaris Strategy and Tactics Episode 1. So, after playing the ever-living heck out of this game, as you may or may not have been following my live stream videos here, I've been trying out lots and lots of different races here in an attempt to find my new favorite with the release of 2.0 Apocalypse and all the changes that came about with that. And I think I've settled on something good, and something good that hasn't really developed into the meta. Call me a hipster, I don't like diving into the flavor of the month, and there have been a number of flavors of the month that have come out, but I think I've kind of found my own way here. Is it necessarily the most mathematically powerful race out there? Maybe, maybe not. But it seems to work quite well for me. So let's dive in, shall we? So the race that I have cooked up for us here are the Serene Bastards. A egalitarian, pacifist, spiritual mixture of a species, with a couple of different sort of synergistic traits going for them here. And I did some testing on this, and they seem to work out quite well. So first off, we've got conservationist, plus environmentalist, plus egalitarian. All three of these reduce the cost of consumer goods. Now you add that to the fact that egalitarian also allows you to use the utopian level living standards, something that the other ethics do not allow, and well, you'll see those compounded effects in due time. Secondly, we also have these. We are certainly a unity-focused race here. Beacon of Liberty plus spiritualist plus traditional is another trio of traits that are all bonusing the ever-living heck out of everything. Or rather, bonusing the heck out of unity, which in turn allows us to buy traditions, which can bonus everything else. And then lastly, we have sort of a hidden one, a hidden trio of traits that get bonuses. You see, the whole thing of all of these consumer goods and allowing us to do the utopian living standards, along with, well, just the nature of the factions that can develop with this trio of races, and you tend to get really happy population. Now, by taking adaptive, you can get a happy population on a lot of different planets. And happy pops give you bonuses across the board. But you know what? Enough yapping. Let's dive right in. We are going to go, you know what? I like Spiral 2 arms a little bit more than 4 arms. 4 arms can be a little iffy, but I'm going to go 2 arms here. See what that gives for us. See if that gives us some goodies. A good start here. Otherwise, keeping everything else pretty stock standard. Not doing this on Iron Man mode only because this is a recorded series, and if like my video recorder freezes, I'm going to want to be able to go back to my last autosave. So yeah, otherwise, let's dive right in. In the eons since the first primitive Serene Bastard communities took shape in the rugged mountain valleys of Imperia, our civilization has spread out and prospered. Great achievements were made both in the advancement of science and on the spiritual planes as we sought to expand our understanding of the universe and the role we play in it. A council of our most learned priests was convened to advise our elected leader, a tradition that continues to this day. Now, after the discovery of the Hyperlane network, finest minds of Serenity Manifest have finished development of the first hyperdrives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp. All right, let us begin. So once again, as I've explained from my getting started video, we will be following that tip here. Well, that series of tips. But first off, let's see what kind of ruler we've got here. Ooh, charismatic and home in the sky. Well, we've got charismatic. That's a good thing. Not so excited about home in the sky. Especially since I've seen instances where the bonus doesn't actually work, but that's a minor bug. Anyway, so we got Magnificent Bastard Thibaut. We are going to be renaming our leaders, but I'll do that in between the first and the second episode for our other leaders after my Patreon subs for Name and Game. Anyway, let us get started. Let's take a look at what our researchers are. Ooh, Spark of Genius. That is a good one. There is one other type of scientist that we are going to want to sort of hone in on, and that is a maniacal one. Specifically, we want a maniacal one in society research. That's fine that we don't start with one, but we're going to want to be on the hunt for it. Anyway, deflectors, physics lab, or power plant. I'm thinking physics labs, but let me consult with the other sciences, see what they're... Oh, right here. Boom. Monthly... monthly unity. Oh, they nerfed this. This used to be +5. Oh, and Peace Festivals come out nice and early. Well, I'm taking this regardless, even if they have nerfed that. That's fine. Let's see what we got here. Engineering facility. Afterburners are always a good thing, and it matches his trait. So, boom, afterburners, which means I think we'll get physics labs here. Since it's a bit early for. I mean, we could go power plant too, but it's a bit early for power plant too. I want physics labs. I'd rather upgrade those buildings, my research buildings, than the power plants yet. And power plant 2 will come back around. I say that now and watch, I'll be energy starved by the mid-games. Like, where's my power plant 2s? Speaking of staving off energy starvation here, let us get ourselves a trading hub. And yeah, that's that bug I was talking about before. Starbase module build cost minus 20%. Yeah, BS right there. That ain't 20% off. It's always costing 100, but it's worth the price of admission anyway. Right then, construction ship, and darn it, we got a 2fer for our minerals instead of a 3fer. I prefer the 3fer, but again, not the end of the world. What flavor of? All right, we got engineering. Good. Engineering is good. Especially since we're kind of stacked. The deck is kind of stacked for us for physics research already. Looks like, unfortunately, society's going to lag a little bit behind. We might need to go biolab for that. Let's take a look at our science ship. Careful. Ooh, careful is very good. Oh, the other thing I want to do here is take a look at our leaders. What scientists do we have? All right, we don't have any maniacal leaders on the docket yet, which is fine. I'm not complaining. What I'll likely do is have, I'll cross that bridge when I get a second scientist. The other thing I want to do, policies and edicts. We, of course, want to map the stars, as that is another one that I said to do right off the top there. But one more alteration, and this is going to be one that is very non-standard for any other race. This is not part of my global opening moves for other races. This is very, very specific to this race, and that is we go to species, set rights, living standards. Right from the get-go, these Serene Bastards are getting Utopian Abundance. Now, look at this. We get 20% happiness out of this deal. But it makes our consumer goods, it makes us use 1.5 times more consumer goods than we would, or rather it raises the cost of them. So we are currently with our minerals sitting at an income of 14 before we jack up the cost of our consumer goods. And this might seem like a rather questionable move right at the beginning of the game, because in the early game, minerals are key. Minerals are your lifeblood. If you hamstring yourself with minerals in the early game, you will be slow to expand, you will be slow to tech up, you'll be slow to build up your military, you'll be slow to build colony ships, and you will be behind. Almost all the time, and that will make you vulnerable and left to the whims of your AI opponents. So why are we doing this? Well, let me show you this. So we're at 14. Let's go up to Utopian Abundance. Boop. We're at 13. That increase, that sharp increase, costs us only 1 mineral per month. In exchange, everything else gets boosted by happiness. And as our happiness metric goes higher and higher, the boosts will only get bigger. As you can see, our energy credit gain jumped into the double digits there. And that also boosts unity. Unity gets boosted by happiness as well. So it just becomes better and better. Yeah, see, everyone now is at a 70% happiness. And once we start getting factions in there, it will just get even better. So this is a happiness-focused race. All right, let's take a look at a map here. Interesting. We've kind of got this like little highway bridge right down here that sort of connects all of the arms to each other. I might want to explore in this direction just in case it is unclaimed, because this would be really good space to hold. There's also this strategic bridge right up here. But for the time being, there's no real bastions for us as far as like finding a couple of narrow choke points and just holding them. Like, we have the 3 up here, and then maybe 1, 2. Yeah, I guess we could have 3 and 3, but again, a little bit too early to start thinking in that scope. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you go up here, and then here, and then here. You want to do the ones that are ideally within 1 jump of your main system first, but you also want to be efficient about it. Now the question is, do I go down here and here? No, I think I'm going to go... Actually, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. Here. 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 And then by the time I'll pre-program in looping around here, and then if we get a second science person, they're going to go off in that direction. That should be good enough. All right, time to unpause. We've got everything else. Let's check our commander availability. Do we have a scout? We do not. We do not have a scout admiral available to us. So Corvette scouting is off the table. That's okay. That's really quite all right. It's not mission critical that we do that. Let's take a look at our topography here. Got some good spots going in here. However, the thing that you really want from the get-go, at least with this race goes, before you get anything else, is we want to build ourselves a temple, and we want to get even more unity going. And this race is already has honey bunches of unity bonuses. So traditional plus an extra 5% because they are happy, and that bonus will only grow. Plus Beacon of Liberty, plus Spiritualist, plus Thibaut himself, our leader, giving us higher unity output as well. And also 5% Pacifist. Pacifists, that's the other thing with pacifists. They give your pops a 5% bonus to everything, but it's not a happiness bonus. It is on top of the happiness bonus. So you got, the happiness bonus at 100% happiness, you get 20% productivity boost to everything. And then add on top of that the extra 5% for pacifist. Ancient artifacts, yerk. Okay, fair enough. Alright, so that seems to be our precursors here. 6 artifacts to recover. I think we almost got all of our precursor ones back with our rock lobsters. By the way, they are somewhere in this universe. I forced I didn't delete the race, and I forced them to spawn it, so somewhere, guaranteed, we are going to bump into our rock lobsters, and they're probably not going to like us because they're all authoritarian and we're all egalitarian. Serenity Manifest is the new buzz with the news of the news of alien remnants. I'm not going to read through every single one of these. This is more strategy and tactics. If you want the lore of the game, play it yourself. I'm here for the strategies and the tactics for you. Let's speed things up a little bit. Playing on normal is painful, to say the least. Construction is complete. Excellent. Let's get you over to, and again, minerals first, followed by whatever research station is, or whatever research deposit is there. And if you can't afford it right off the bat, then queue up a enter orbit, and then queue up the station once you can. That way you don't waste even a fleeting moment. Alright, a 3 for in physics. Research, good. We got our extra energy coming online thanks to our star base. Excellent. The trading hub. You can only, mind you can only build those in stations, in systems in which you have a colony. So if you have a star base in a system with no colony, no trading post. But there's still other really good stuff to do. This isn't a bad system, to say the least. I mean, there are better ones out there, and obviously the game is preceded to sort of give you a couple of your class of worlds within 1 or 2 jumps. So we're hoping to find those as well, just so we can sort of educate ourselves on where they are and also how big they are. Usually they're close enough that you can kind of take your time with them and not have them get ninja'd by the AI, but if you get unlucky enough and have a really close AI who happens to share your planet type, or at least your planet class type, then you might be you might be out of luck if you wait too long. All right, let's get you over here. Wait for the next tick over, and then we can just queue up our station here. Bada bing, bada boom. Excellent. Let's kick you up another notch here. Just to speed things along. Yeah, we're not going to need to build our ships just yet. But what I do want to build is, yeah, as our pop is still growing here. We do need to wait just a little bit.
Complete.
All right, we got our mining station, but I do want to build the building first because this might be a superior system to go to. So I'm at the very least going to wait for our scouts to finish scouting this one, and then I'll make the decision between this one and this one. I mean, Pagol is actually not that bad of a system to claim, but you still want to be kind of picky. You don't want to expand into too many systems because that will spike your both your research and your Unity costs. And this race is all about cranking through those early Unity trees. Wow, that's a lot of physics research. That is a lot of physics research. I might want to make my way over there, especially if we can pick up some extra mineral deposits here. Oh, and speaking of the devil, we've got our first Unity tree. Now, the choice of your first Unity tree is, well, needless to say, very important. Because what traits and what perks the different trees have to offer all have different effects. And generally, to get the most out of a tree, you need to specialize in it. So once you pick one of the trees, you generally want to stick into that tree, because splashing into another tree will inflate the costs of all new Unity things going forward, and it delays you getting the finisher effect from the first tree and also the ascension perk. There's so many reasons why you would want to stay in and finish a tree. Now, of course, staying in one tree will give you a bunch of perks that you probably want, but also probably a couple of perks that are not really relevant right now. So what you really want to do is if you really want to go for the Unity build, go for it whole hog. That way you can burn through a tree to get the perks and the finishers for the one tree, and then jump over to the other. Now, as far as what tree we're going to take, now the main meta that I've seen on the various forums or whatnot is the two main trees that most people suggest starting with is either exploration, which makes sense. Expansion. Which makes sense because, it's all about giving you bonuses to getting your colonies out and getting them bigger and giving you a little bit more unity from your capital buildings. And there's some pretty decent stuff here, but it's a little meh. Compared to some of the things that we get from this other tree that I'm thinking of, it's a little meh. Now, the other option here that a lot of people go with or suggest is the discovery tree. And I can't knock it too hard because it does boost your early exploration. Most of the early perks, exploration, research alternatives for there, research points when you're exploring, leader experience gain, quite useful. And then assist research, giving you a little extra unity. Not bad. There are really good things to be had in discovery. But the finisher effect is that it gives you 10% research speed, which is all well and good. I can't knock that. But what I want, I think you guys already know where I'm going with this, because I like the tree in my Rock Lobster playthrough, and that's Harmony. Harmony, again, playing with the theme of the Serene Bastards here, is the way we're going to go, and here's my reasoning. See the opener effect here? Pop growth speed increased by 25%? Yeah. Population growth no longer spikes your tech and unity costs. It's only planets themselves, as well as systems claimed by your outposts. So once you've already committed to getting the penalty for settling a planet, you might as well fill it up as quickly as you can to get the most benefit out of it, so that way you can sort of recoup and overcome the inflated costs of your technology and your unity that results in settling that planet in the first place. So population growth is key. Not to mention, remember how I was saying that the happiness is a pretty important part here? Well, the thing with happiness is the first 10% bonus that you get, regardless from the source, is kind of useless. Going from the baseline of 50 happiness to 60 happiness gets you pretty much nothing. It's only when your bonus starts peaking ahead of the 60% mark that it becomes important. And the more it rises above the 60% mark, the more raw benefit you get from, well, everything, because it gives you bonuses to everything. Minerals, energy, food, research. You want to get something that's a little bit more than 10%? How about stacking honey bunches of happiness? And that can be done. You can gain a total of plus 15% happiness from the Harmony tree, both with the the Paradise Dome, as well as the finisher effect, which just gives you a global 10%. So that alone is worth it. Not to mention, we took the flaw fleeting. This mind and body more than counters it, because fleeting's only minus 10 years. So we bring our leaders back into a proper lifespan and then some. And then down here, if we get war decked, we get some bonuses. So it's also a little bit of a combat thing. But we're really here mostly for the opener effect, the Paradise Domes, and the finisher effect. That's why we are here in Harmony. And why our bastards are extra serene. Man, look at this. This is insanity. Alright, well, just for this system alone, we're gonna head up here. You know, I am gonna walk towards it because it is 2 jumps away from me. But leaving a system like this unclaimed, did that just go to 4? Yeah, that just went to 4 minerals there. That's insanity.
System survey complete.
Holy crap! What did you get? Statecraft. Interesting. All right, let's slow things down just a smidge. Well, I was hoping you'd get maniacal, but that's okay. You actually would be a better person than Hazel here. So you know what? Let's flip flop you here. We'll have the having your science person be a quick learner here, the adaptable rather, is really good because they gain experience rather quickly. Although that anomaly fail risk chance might be a good thing, we could always swap them out. Aha! There's our first Alpine world, and it is an 18. That's pretty darn good. It can be frustrating when your 2 seeded worlds are both under the size of 16. I've had some test games where that was the case. It was annoying. Right then. All right. As with my guide before, we're going to want to wait till our pop here is about 2/3 to 3/4 the way grown, which I'd say they're close enough. But again, we want to start with a temple. We want our first population, and ideally we want it on a tile that has no natural resources, which this one has no natural resources. Because that way we're not stomping on any bonuses, we're just growing some nice homegrown unity that will have tons and tons of other bonuses applied to it. Right then, same rule applies here. We're going to go here and get our mining station first. Now, unfortunately, the happiness bonuses that we are ramping up across the empire here does not apply themselves to the minerals that we get from mining stations. This is why we're not super concerned about spreading our territory super wide. Our growth and our benefits are focused mostly on our population. So we do want to grab planets, and that's the other reason I took pacifist, is that we can have 5 directly controlled core systems as opposed to the default of 3. That allows, and because we're adaptable, if we find a large enough off-class planet, I'm still willing to dive into it. Because not only will our happiness bonuses sort of counteract the negatives from it, but we'll eventually be able to terraform that beast into something just as good as all of our other planets. So this is absolutely a worthwhile endeavor here. Once we get past the 100 mineral mark, I will hire another scientist and have them start exploring over here. Oh, that's going to be a little bit tough now that we're starting to roll in our stuff here, but we really should save up for that. All right, yeah, you finished that a little early, but that's okay. Oh yeah, one other thing. Whenever you finish scanning a world, check it for specials. Ooh, wow. Very few tile blockers here and lots of resources. This is a really good starter world. And then unless we bump into like a size 25, I think we found our place here. Alright, yeah, 100, I think we're going to go with the science ship here. Because we're well over 200, our 200 energy needed to actually hire somebody. Is that another one? Size 17 Alpine World, not bad, not bad. And then once our minerals recover, we'll resume building this place up. And the other thing is, I'm really happy that we haven't bumped into any empires yet, because this race likes to be able to grow on its own for a little bit. I mean, it's not an isolationist race, it's not a xenophobic race, but it doesn't mind having room and some time to itself in the very beginning of the game, to say the least. Right then, leaders, scientists. And once again, I think I'm going to go for the adaptable to get ourselves some nice high-level scientists. The alternative might be to... We could bump... Actually, here's what we can do. You're the spark of genius. In lieu of maniacal, I wouldn't mind a spark of genius down here in society research, because that's really where this race likes having its good stuff. But we do have statecraft rolling here, but I wouldn't mind having our careful person out there back in the field. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to... We're gonna hire the computer's person here, Violet Light. Replace them, and then replace our this person with our Spark of Genius, and then in our science ship we will go back and put our anomaly fail risk person, and off you go to survey. And again, you want to get the ones that are close by first. And actually, since we expanded up this way, let's swing you back and check out these edge systems here, because this might be a good place to box ourselves in, if need be. Alright, got some good minerals coming in. Holy crap! A 4 research? Let me guess, that's the planet itself. Which has hostile fauna. Yeah. But there is a 4 tile here with that 20% there. So that's eventually good, but it's got a lot of blockers on it. A lot of blockers. So again, you want to educate yourself to that, to... you don't want to, even if it's your type of world, you don't want to settle it too quickly if you don't have the tile blocker removal tech. Alright, we are almost done. Oh, by the way, what is our mandate? Orbital research. That shouldn't be a problem given how many researchy things we have here. We do want to hit that mandate early on so that we can get the burst of unity, which will help, well, our traditions gain. Which is kind of a big thing for this. Yeah, commendable initiative. No reason not to do the planetary scan thing. And yeah, once again, we'll do our research station followed by our other thing. And again, you want to knock out and link up all your things within a system before you claim another, unless it's about to be claimed by an enemy. Because the more systems you claim, the more your tech and unity costs are inflated. So staving off that inflation as long as possible will allow you to sort of ratchet in some early gains. 10%? Yeah, I'm good with 10%. Wow, 7 minerals, though. Dang. Wait, where are you going? Oh. I guess I did all that, but I forgot to hold control click, so you misinterpreted it. Yeah, we want to absolutely actually scan that. This is an interesting system, to say the least. Oop, and here's our next tradition. See what I was talking about? Our costs are now. We want to beeline for Utopian Dream to get the Paradise Dome. That Paradise Dome is clutch for this race. Unfortunately, we have to go through the greater good. Now, with our rock lobsters, this was actually the reason why we went down the Harmony tree. This unrest, knocking down unrest for an authoritarian, which, by the way, I've seen some people on the forums questioning, it's like, oh man, I'm playing authoritarian, but my slaves keep getting angrier and uprising and causing problems, and now I have to keep doing the martial law thing. This will actually help you keep your slaves in line with this plus some happiness boosts from Utopian Dream and others. That being said, it's a waste of a perk here, but we have to take it to get to the real jewel. And we want to beeline for this. Massive crater. Alright, physics research. Get. And then in next tick we can pick up our energy. And there's our physics lab, thanks to that, plus our other guy. Oh, research speed, and it matches. Go research speed. Yeah, see how because we claimed one other system, it's 510 instead of 500, because we have that two systems, 2%. That's the reason why. That's the effect, having an active effect on our research cost here. The other reason why we want the Paradise Dome is it gives us a ton of food, which will then be boosted by our race's happiness, which then creates a large excess, which increases our growth rate. And as per my previous lecture, growth rate is key. Alright, let's speed you up just a smidge meter.
System survey complete.
Alright, this is a really good system. Even if we don't necessarily go for that world first, I think claiming our way all the way down this way is a smart move. Because we're not going to be ready to quite settle our worlds just yet. There we go. Let's get that outpost going. Like, for example, like this system right here would be a little iffy to claim if it wasn't home to our best starter planet. And you want to be mindful of what you claim, again, just because of yeah, we'll do that. Survey the system down here. We've got scientists leveling up. Excellent. Speaking of science, how are we doing? We are really close here. Now, as much as I want to drop up peace festivals here, spending the influence in the early game going to be a little iffy because we do need that influence to start claiming systems proper. But once we get our factions appearing, then we'll have a little bit more influence to play around with. Partial remains of a colony ship. Interesting.
Situation log updated.
Alright, let's alright, you're done here. And once again, following the exact same rules here of claiming our minerals first and then going from there. Can't quite research that. We'll have to come back for it. Although you're the adaptive one, so you should hit level 3 pretty quickly. And again, the other thing with going down the Harmony tree early is that we'll be hitting that perk that extends our leader's lifespan will be taken before we have any leaders die early deaths because of the fleeting trait. Like, they're not going to get that old that quickly. What do we have here? Oh, right, our physics lab is in need of upgrading, once we have the minerals anyway. We also have another pop going. We do want to get them on these minerals here, because again, minerals are key in the early game. But I am going to wait for our minerals to recover here so that I can upgrade our lab for even more physics research. We are stacking the deck a little bit heavily on that, but that's okay. Yeah, look at that. 5. We are actually getting 4.68 unity from a temple. And it will only go up from there. Only go up. Alright. Oh, I'm still at normal speed. No wonder it's taking forever. Actually, upgrading might not be the smartest move right this second because we're about to finish our other stuff and I'd rather get the extra minerals online first. Let's queue up these extra minerals. And Utopian Dream. Oh yeah. In fact, what I might end up doing with my world here, well, you know what? I think I'll let them get these minerals up and, well, or, you know, no. We do want the unity going there, because the faster we get the unity, the faster we get the happiness bonus, and the faster that increases everybody. So actually, we do want to put the Utopia Dome on here as our next item of construction. Now, luckily, since the Utopia Dome also gives us food, we can plop it on one of our food deposits, and it won't stomp on that. It'll play nice with it, and then add the unity on top of it. Which makes it all the better of a play. So yeah, I'll be staving off on upgrading that research thing just for a little bit, just because we have so many other things that are vying for our minerals here. And again, that's why we want to hook up the minerals first to get them up and running and get our bonuses for them. But again, increasing increasing our happiness even faster will allow us to get even more minerals because of all of our people working mineral fields that are getting even happier. And you think that we lost one mineral from our consumer goods? As our happiness rises higher, the relative productivity of our miners will go even higher than the increased cost of the consumer goods, even as our population grows. So I think that is a good stopping point here. So if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya.